Now, the trial of a senior Turkish banker is due to begin in the United States quite soon, this month. In fact, Halkbank's Deputy General Manager of International Banking, Mehmet Hakan Atilla, was arrested last month in New York. He's been charged with conspiring with the gold trader Reza Zarrab to evade US sanctions on Iran. Now, Zarrab's trial is also expected to take place at the same time. Azhar Sukri reports.
Halkbank is one of the most recognizable brands in Turkey and the country's fifth biggest lender by assets. So the arrest of one of its senior executives in the US last month sent shockwaves through the country. 47-year-old Deputy General Manager Mehmet Hakan Atilla was in New York to meet investors for a planned bond issue. He was arrested before he boarded a flight back to Turkey. Atilla is accused of using his position in the bank to help Turkish-Iranian gold trader Reza Zarrab, who's also being held by US authorities, of laundering hundreds of millions of dollars for the Iranian government. US prosecutors say those actions contravened sanctions against Iran. Attila's detention sent Halkbank shares plummeting. They fell more than 14% on the day and have yet to recover. Halkbank has strenuously denied any wrongdoing. In a statement, it said, "Our bank has not intermediated any transaction in which any prohibited party or person or goods or services have been involved. The US financial system and the currency have not been used for such transactions related to the trade with that country mentioned in the allegations." The arrest has also become a diplomatic issue. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu discussed it with US Secretary of State Rex Tillerson when he visited Turkey a day after Attila's arrest.
Bu sürecin Zarrab dahil.
We believe and we see that this is a completely political process, including the arrest of Zarrab, because former US Attorney Preet Bharara has close relations with FETO.
The case against Halkbank certainly is serious. What remains to be seen now is whether it will be punished by US authorities and how big the potential fine against it might be. Several other banks have also been caught out by US rules on dealings with countries under sanction. Most recently, Canada-based Toronto Dominion Bank was fined more than $500,000. That was a mere slap on the wrist, compared to the nearly $1.5 billion fine imposed on Germany's Commerce Bank in 2015. But even that is dwarfed by the nearly $9 billion punishment doled out to French lender BNP Paribas in 2014.
If you take a lot of the examples of previous precedents, as there has been, the fines have tended to be between $150 to nearly $10 billion. So the fine can be very substantial if the American authorities believe that there has been a breach of the sanctions towards Iran.
The Halkbank case is likely to be watched closely by investors, politicians, and ordinary Turks for months to come. Azhar Sukri, TRT World.
Selva Tor joins me now in the studio, financial security strategist. She's been following the case quite closely. Selva, very simply, you do not believe that he is guilty of money laundering. Tell us why.
Because actually, first of all, this is nothing to do with the US. The person accused is not a US citizen. The transaction was not in US dollars. Actually, they are claiming to do so. On the contrary, all the parties involved in these accusations is nothing to do with US, and they are not US citizens, and none of the US capital companies are involved anymore.
One of the transactions was said to be made in dollars, is that right?
The allegations is yes, but Halkbank is actually refused to do as it is, because all of the transactions involving the Iranian oil trade was actually made in Turkish lira or euros. None of the transactions involved US dollars, which is related to Halkbank.
Right. Now, we've seen the share price of Halkbank drop very significantly. Why do you think that is?
Because, you know, the international market is expected that must be a fine is coming from the US authorities because of the fact that in previous times, Deutsche Bank and Credit Suisse has accused of some similar activities, and because of their involvement in U.S. international financial transactions, they have been, had to pay these very biggest fines, like $10 billion for Deutsche Bank from 2008 until now, and for almost $600 million for Credit Suisse.
So it's the possibility of a very big fine hitting Halkbank's bottom line.
Not bottom line, but at the end of the day, it will have a negative effect to its financials, of
and
course.
Reputation?
Of course. And on the other side, Halkbank is a state bank. It's a state Turkish bank and one of the main banks in Turkey. And in fact, I mean, if Halkbank is accused of some, unjust accusations and supposedly involve some fines, then the very capability of the Turkish banks to get funds from international markets will be jeopardized.
Let me ask you about Mehmet Çavuşoğlu there, the foreign minister, said it was political. We're not going to get into that. But do you think that the Turkish financial establishment feels resentful that the United States is doing this to one of their citizens and that it's perhaps overreached its own capabilities?
Well, international monetary relations have seen that kind of cases before. I mean, as we remember 1956, and when the British troops get into the Suez crisis, the US wouldn't like the British to do so. So they made a currency manipulation over the pound. As we remember, the central bank, the Bank of England, has made enormous troubles at that period of time. It was actually the US New York Federal Reserve Bank who made this manipulation. And it was one of the very weird times that two allied powers actually could use this monetary financial coercive tools.
And that's what you think is happening right now?
Exactly, yes. This is
the United States is using their financial clout to make other countries toe the line when they don't want to.
This is their soft power, actually.
I understand. Yeah. Okay. Selva Tor, thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you.